Hello, everyone. Jane here from Your Weight Loss, and today we are celebrating. We have so much to talk about. What are these notes? Okay, funny because I was talking with Danica from team, and I'm telling her about like the lives that she's doing next week, whatever. And she's like, I'm gonna have to make notes and whatever. I'm like, what are these notes? And she's like, I'm like Alicia. There's always a piece of paper. There's not a lot written on it, but there is something. I can't just press play and have nothing. And I'm like, that is my life. I just press play. And I'm all over the place, but I feel like it's a part of what people expect. I've made it my thing.
I love in today's live when you were talking about your brother and your brother's weight loss, and then you start to talk about you and you're like, anyway, not about me. Like you like have self-awareness, where you realize this is not about me. This is not about me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was a great live. We might have some time to chat about that actually today on today's podcast, but we have a few things to celebrate. The first thing we want to celebrate is our 500,000 downloads of our podcast. We just hit that milestone, you guys.
It's crazy.
So, okay, but listen, this is how we do business, or this is how we know things, okay? We Google it. So yesterday I Googled how many downloads is like normal average podcast. How many downloads? Like, I don't even know if it's like, is this good? Is this normal? And what do people say? What like, we don't even know. We just press play. We don't even have an editor. If I say something shitty, we have to redo it because we don't know how to edit it, because we have to ask Jeff, and we limit our time of asking Jeff things. So
yes.
Okay. So we Google it and I send you a picture and this is me. I'm like, well, I guess we're really good at podcasting. Alicia's like, this is hilarious. So I Googled like, what is a good podcast? So it says, how many downloads what is the average podcast download is what I Googled. It says, how many downloads makes a successful podcast? The most successful podcast episode had around 50,000 downloads in only 30 days. An episode with 9,000 downloads earns a place in the top 5% of podcasts. And 3,400 downloads puts you in the top 10. The average podcast racks up 141 downloads in the first 30 days. Not bad. Like our Catnap podcast had almost 4,000 downloads that day.
Is that going to beat The Boys? Because The Boys podcast, the one with Neil and Jeff, was the most popular. I wonder if Catnap is going to beat it.
I don't know. Okay, so the Boys podcast is the most popular, like in general. So how many times it's been watched and downloaded over time. But this seems to be like on that day, like that, you know? So on that day, that's really high to have almost 4,000 downloads on that day that it came out. We had this random, I think Podbean was off, but we had this random podcast, April something, that had 4,000 downloads. But I don't know if it's like people were catching up or it's just that day we had that many downloads. It's not necessarily that podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
At the end of the day, we're up there. Like we get our average is 4,000. Oh, wow. I'm starting over. Our average is 2,000 downloads a day.
Okay.
Like a day that our podcast comes out. So Monday, Thursday, Fridays, I see 2,000. So I feel like that's like what our most common number is. And then in betweens, we're like 1,600, whatever. Like at the end of the day, we're at an average of 40,000 downloads a month.
It's insane.
I know. That's a lot of downloads.
That's a lot of downloads. I'm going to ask you guys that are listening to do something right now. We don't ask this often, but I would love for imagine if every single person that listened, all 4,000 of the people that download our podcast, imagine if they just shared it with one other human.
Okay. Yes.
You can even send them the links. Like you just press, there's like 3 little dots. You press on it, copy link. You can send it to anyone. That would be so appreciated.
Do we feel like, so if we just continue this trend of 40,000 downloads a month, okay, which is just epic. And I think more people bring more people. That's just what it is, right? Usually it's like upwards. It's like, oh, the more followers you have, it's easier to have more followers a day because you have more followers. It's just like how the world kind of works in that sense. So I do believe that we have a lot of different people that aren't necessarily maybe Your Weight Loss members, but they do listen to our podcast and they really enjoy our conversation and what we bring to the table here on our podcast. What if we do this massive party at 1 million downloads?
Yes.
Just like a party. It's called the friggin' Your Weight Loss podcast party.
Yes.
We celebrate 1 million. So if we continue this trend, our math is telling us that by next year, by like next summer, we should be at 1 million. What if we make that our goal, but we do nothing to make it happen? We just keep
No, we can ask them to share more often. We can
share, comment, like all of that stuff makes it to show up on people's things. Okay, so by next summer, if our math is right, we would hit 1 million. Imagine this massive summer party.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Your Weight Loss Podcast 1 million download party. This is a long title.
I like picture like an outside party. I picture a DJ. There's a DJ at this party.
I am the DJ. Yes, absolutely. There's a DJ. There's dancing. There's drinks. There's tequila shots.
Yes. There's Your Weight Loss cocktails, like the recipe, like in jugs.
Yes.
You can order like the Alicia, the Jose, the Denico.
Shut up. This is a great idea. All right. Is anyone writing this down?
Guys.
We invite anyone that we like. We invite James Smith. We invite anyone that was on our podcast.
Yes.
That's super fun.
Where is this? Is it at your house?
Absolutely not. I was thinking that, okay, is it VIP? Do we is it like we have 100 tickets to sell, or is it massive? We could do this, we could rent out the sandbar in Shediac. It's on the wharf. There's music, there's food. It's this big ass party. You know what I mean? You rent it out for a night. And you make the tickets awesome. No, there's swag. There's you get a bag. You get a bag.
Wait, I need a scrap piece of paper right now.
We've never done a Your Weight Loss party type. We've never done
1 million signature cocktails.
Yes. Swag. 1 million, something about swag with our podcast.
Swag. Yes.
You know what I mean? Your Weight Loss swag.
Okay. DJ.
Absolutely.
It's a party.
Yeah, it's a party. 1 million balloon, 1M. People take there's a photo booth, fun photo, a photo op thing. People take photos. Maybe this would be a perfect opportunity to have memories to go and have that photo booth thing. They take pictures. People are drunk. Super fun. Okay. Any other ideas? Anyone that's listening, you need to tell us if you would come to this party. And it's just drinking, eating, and laughing. And dancing.
Celebrating. It's legit celebrating.
Celebrating. I like that. It's just celebrating.
I'm wondering a few things about our podcast. One, do we want to try somehow to have better sound?
Absolutely not.
Two, do we want to try to have people that have popular podcasts have people that
You're just trying to complicate this. We're talking about a party right now.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, we're talking about our 1 million downloads.
I was moving on from that, but I guess we weren't ready.
Remember that meeting we got where we have so many things we have to be better at? This podcast is going really well without us putting more effort into it right now.
Okay.
Also, it's free for everyone.
It is free for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, do we want ads? No.
Absolutely not. Every time there's an ad, I love Cat Nat, and I understand their business. I understand how they need to make money. I understand it, but this is us. I think this is why people like us. We just show up. They don't expect ads. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This is not a part of our business model. This is just us being fun.
So if you guys want this party, you need to share with a friend.
Yes.
So that more people download so we can have the party sooner. That's fun. Yes.
Summer. I think summer is a really good goal, you guys. We can make this happen.
I would love for you guys also to send us DMs of ideas. I was thinking do we want to spice it up a little bit? Do we want to do advice, confessional?
Okay. Because we do, they do expect our podcast every Monday, Thursday. We could do Mondays more about maybe weight loss or more of that piece. And then Thursdays more juicy.
Yeah.
I don't know if they do. Do we have juicy? Do we have juice to bring to the table?
We have juice. Someone sent me a message today saying, I laughed so hard when Jose asked you what your boyfriend in high school was into. And I said, marijuana.
Yes. Nah, you're so funny. Okay, let's go. No, you are. Okay, let's go to next celebrating. So thank you, everyone. We love you. Please share our podcast. I think this is clear. We're having a massive 1 million party. This is also the next, I can't wait to tell Jeff, this is also part of his Is that necessary? Just like getting our makeup done for Cat Nat. You know what I mean? Is that necessary? He doesn't understand that. Yes. And it's like Jeff doesn't understand the value behind just a great life. Okay, wait, let me explain what I mean by that. I think that Jeff is always like rational and like creating fun for ourselves is an emotional reaction. Like us having a party is an emotional reaction. It's not rational. It's not rational. You know, it's very emotional. And emotions doesn't have to be all like, I think when we think emotional, it's like sadness, anxiety, depression. No, emotions are also excitement, fun. Like that's an emotion, you know? And we create shit for that emotion. Jeff doesn't create anything for that, you know? He's more rational. So he'll be like, how much does this party cost? What is the cost of this party?
And then he's like, did you think about the liquor laws? And like, absolutely. Literally.
Absolutely. Literally.
And then he'll be like, you need insurance. What if someone gets too drunk and dies? Like, and he's right.
Like, just kills it. Just kills our dreams. Squash.
And then we have Neil. He's our hype guy. He's like,
yeah. And then he says the things that we have to be rational with Neil. No, Neil, that's not how life works. But it's like we will need a friggin' PowerPoint presentation of our party for Jeff, our financial advisor, to support us here. And be like, this is a good idea. You know what I mean?
It's a great
I think it's a great idea. What a fun time. What a fun time.
Okay, I feel like there was another point coming.
Okay, the next thing we're going to celebrate is obviously our premiere. We didn't even talk about it. Okay, you guys, so this podcast is coming out tomorrow. So this is yesterday as we're filming this, as you're listening. Wow, like premiere weekend was amazing. We ended up with almost 6,000 downloads of our premiere.
Wow.
Or 6,000 views. It's not downloads, it's views. Okay. Yeah. So I know that some people watched it 5 times, and that is still amazing to me.
Crazy. And we want to take a minute, guys, to say like, thank you so much for your support. People that came in person, people who purchased the premiere and watched it virtually, like just everyone that supported us during that process. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that is not lost on us. This was a massive project. And I love when people recognize that it was a massive project and the value behind it, the value behind, Jordan Syatt and all of that. I feel very grateful for our people. It was massive for us. So, and I just want to talk about like the roar in the audience. Every time there was something funny was just so bucket filling. How many times did I say, did you hear them laugh? Did you hear them laugh? I don't know if I was I just think it was so funny. So for me, it was so important that people thought it was funny.
Well, absolutely. And that's how we show up. A lot of how we show up is by being funny and making fun of ourselves and making fun of each other and not taking ourselves too seriously. And the laughter was incredible. And our friends were like, I didn't know I was going to a comedy. And I mean,
now you're talking my language.
I know we think we're funny, but like our like people that don't know us, our husband's going to think we're funny. Our daughters of members who don't know us going to think we're funny. And I think they thought we were funny.
They friggin' thought we were funny. Anyways, in terms of the support, I'm blown away by the support of our premiere. So thank you so much. I think that if I were to say to someone, 2,000 people supported our premiere weekend, which that's what it ended up with, that is just insane to me. Like that is just, thank you so much, because that needed to be a priority in your life. Like it really needed to be. It was short term. It was quick. You needed to really prioritize either watching it this weekend. So thank you for prioritizing our project in your life. Thank you. That was amazing. So the support, but it was also how people after that were just in awe of the project itself. That was also bucket filling. Like they were like, oh my God, when are you doing another one? Or that went beyond my expectations and all of that. So that for me was just too much. That was just amazing.
And yesterday I posted about the next event because I'm like, people are going to want to know. And like my like summer calendar, I know it's not quite summer, but it's close. It's filling up. So I put a save the date out there and people were like excited.
Yes, they were
tagging their friends. You know what I love? I love that people are creating an experience out of it. Like they're like, let's go out. Let's stay at a hotel. Let's have a girls' weekend. Like good for you guys. Again, talk about prioritizing. We
Yeah.
get so
Yeah.
stuck in our regular groove. And that is, you have to prioritize, money, you have to prioritize time, you
Yeah.
have to prioritize a lot of things to make an event like that a part of your life. And I think I know people are excited to do it again.
Yes. And I feel like the demographic that we attract are people that are looking for fun. And fun is just not like, it's not everywhere. I have to say, I mean, we don't live in those cities where it's like, this and that and blah, 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 blah. Like, there's not a lot happening. So when shit happens, you guys, you have to be a part of it. You have to literally grab that opportunity because no one's going to create fun for you, although we are creating fun for you, but you have to actually grab the fun.
Grab it by the balls.
Yes. Okay. So September 17th is the date that you need to save. Le 17 septembre, September 17th.
And I don't want to say, but I'm going to say it's going to be our best one because we learned a lot from Choose Happy. We learned a lot from being at the Cat Nacho. We learned a lot from this show. And this is going to be our best show ever.
I agree. I think that we're bringing a lot of J&A to the show.
Yeah.
And people did tell us at Choose Happy, like, oh, we wish we would have had more J&A time, like on stage, because you guys can rock it. You guys can entertain us. And like, yes, girl, we can. So more interaction with the crowd. I friggin' love that. More J&A on stage. Are we going to ask Neil and Jeff to host?
Ooh, good question. They're going to need a lot of training if we let them do it again.
Yes, or just a different model.
I agree.
I think that they can definitely host, let's say, the people, like they would be like on stage. I think they can host the people like, hello, everyone. Like Neil can do that. Neil can do this. I think it was the aspect of being alone on camera. It's like they just could. I think they can interact with a crowd, maybe not with a camera.
They froze. They were frozen.
They were so awkward.
I think like some kind of a game that we could play that's like funny. Neil could host that has like the crowd coming up. Maybe it's like Team Alicia versus Team Jose or something.
Yes.
Like I'm thinking
oh
like
my God.
something.
Absolutely. So fun. We're definitely going to have more interaction. Games is definitely like, it's going to be a mix of Catnat with Ellen DeGeneres show. So there's dancing. I'm going in the crowd for sure. We're going to dance together. There's definitely like, we're basically creating our own show tour,
Yep.
but it's only in Moncton.
People are like, this is what I want to ask Kat and Nat. How, like, because do you know that they started doing shows like in their living room?
Yes. And people would come in their living room.
So
it was too much.
And then they did like a show in their area, I think. But like, how do you know when it's like time to do a show somewhere else? Like that's scary. That's out of your comfort zone.
That's massive. And like, it's so funny you're bringing that up because I was thinking the exact same thing. Like as I was thinking about us and I know people say like, come to Ottawa, come to, Ontario, come to Toronto, whatever. And I'm like, there is for sure people that went to Catnat that don't know Catnat. Just like people came to our premiere, didn't know who we are, but and don't follow us, but like someone else is like, you'll love them, whatever. So I'm like, at one point, and like they sold out PEI in that massive theater that has more people than Capitol in Moncton. It has 1,200 seats. They sold out that. Don't tell me that 1,200 people on PEI know who Catnat are.
I think they definitely do. Well,
you know what I mean? Like, because 800 people in Moncton, like not all of them, but they sold out in 2 seconds also. It's not like it's like they had to work hard for it. It is so interesting to me. I know they're massive. I know they're huge. I know more people know about them than they know about us. I'm not taking that away from them. They are yes, you guys know how much I love them. And they're amazing. But it's just like, how does that happen? And at one point are you like, yes, it's going to sell out. Yes, this is going to be successful.
I think that I feel like if we choose to do this, if we chose to take the event that we're going to do in September, I think we would try maybe one other place.
I know.
And we just do it. I think we're going to have to, I don't think there'll be the perfect, like, okay, it's perfect. For sure, it's going to be successful. For sure, people are going to show up. I think we just have to like 1, 2, 3, go it. Maybe September is the time to take it on the road. One other show.
What other show? Where would you go?
I don't know. Do we go to PEI?
I thought of it. I'm thinking more PEI. I'm thinking like, it's almost like I feel like Halifax is too big, but then I'm like, but there's more people. So it should be easier to be able to sell. But at the same time, not really like PEI. I have no clue.
the people in PEI, there's not much to do. Like, there's like the
Yeah, it's very
kudos and
comparable. It's very comparable to Shediac, and you know what I mean. Like, there's not much to do though.
I'm
And I went to PI Marco Polo, and 4 people recognized me. Took
I mean,
pictures at the water park.
I'm throwing it out there. I feel like September would be a good time for us to do one show somewhere else and see how it goes.
What do you guys think? Do you think that we should do this? And what city do you think we should go? Do you think are our chances of being successful here?
Everything
And
that we
successful is not selling out. Like we don't even
No.
sell out. We don't even sell out Moncton. So for me, it's just like that. It feels like it's worth us, going there.
For me, success would be it's not awkward.
Yes, exactly. It's not awkward. Oh my goodness.
But I think we have to start somewhere. And I think that any project that we've done that has been scary and out of our comfort zone, like the documentary, whatever, it's been good. But getting out of our comfort zone is good. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, our numbers and our followers are so not the same as them.
No.
So like, not even close.
No.
Not even close. Like a fraction. So that's why I'm like, I think that I don't know. I don't think that we're at that point yet where people come see us in other locations. Just the 4 people in Ottawa that follow us. You know what I mean? So I think we need to have more followers.
Well, then
I think we need to start by selling out here first.
If you guys want
that would be step 1.
If you guys want us to come to PEI, share about us so we can have more followers, so the boss can say that we can go. And the boss is Jeff.
Oh my God, I love that. Yeah, but it would be a scary step for sure. Okay, next topic. So we have like 3 things okay, next thing that I want to talk about is Cat and Nat's podcast that they recorded in Moncton.
How juicy was it?
I was on my walk on Mother's Day, and I had saved it for Mother's Day. So they did 2 podcasts, you guys. The last 2, well, I mean, it depends whenever you're listening to this, but they did 2 podcasts in Moncton. Both are with Romeo and Ryan and their team. But the first one is about Ryan and Romeo and their sexcapades. And then the second one is about Cat and Nat and how they behave backstage.
I can't wait to listen to that.
Yeah, it's funny. It's so funny. I laughed out loud many times when I was on my walk yesterday. So I want to talk about that one as well. But the Romeo one and Ryan, just the shit they did, it's too much.
And I just love their honesty. They're just so honest. I love what Kat and Nat said to Romeo about how he treats women, and because we've met him and we're best friends, we you get that vibe, eh? He's not sleazy. He's respectful.
Yeah, I actually got the same vibe you're talking about. Yeah.
The way that they were speaking about him. And I've heard them speak about him before we met them, before we saw them. And I was like, you have strippers on your tour. But now that I've seen the whole thing go down, I'm I get it. I really get it.
Yeah, no, I get it. So Ryan is new to the tour, right? So this was the first time Ryan was there. Is that his first tour? From what I gathered from the last podcast, it is his first time.
Okay, I didn't pick up on that exactly. But from what I gather, him and Romeo have been friends since they were 13.
Yes. So they shared that they lost their virginity at 13. And the Ryan story. So he randomly had sex with this 18-year-old. He said he was 15. She jumped on him. Well, I laughed and he's like, "What do you mean your dick was out?" And then she just jumped on it. I laughed.
I know. Kat was like, "What?" And your penis just come on.
Kat is such a good host.
Yeah.
I think out of the 2, she hosts the podcast a little bit more. She makes Nat talk. She interviews very well. She has a really good way to stay into the conversation and bring humor to friggin' anything. I really enjoy her. I really enjoy her way of how she interviews people and how she hosts the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So basically he gets that girl pregnant. That's how he loses his virginity.
And it was the first time he'd ever ejaculated.
That's what he said. He had never masturbated. And he's 15 and he's like, "What is this sensation? What is this liquid? What is happening?" And then, Kat brought on like how it's so important to have open conversations with your children about sexuality and whatever before they friggin' ejaculate on a swing. He had sex on a swing.
I mean, who hasn't?
But at the end of the day, he clearly didn't have the conversation about like ejaculation and pregnancy and you know what I mean, like making a baby. And she ended up being pregnant. He didn't go into detail what they had decided, whatever, but that she was also pregnant like years later, like 3 years later with another dude. So he was like, I'm just a kid. I'm just in a band. He was like in a band or something. Oh no, basketball. He's like, I'm just trying to do the basketball team here. Well, I laughed.
I mean, imagine how fertile people that age are. Like they're just ripe.
Just shooting clean sperm ready for ovulation. I'm not using the right word terms here. Okay, what the next part is when they randomly said that they paid escorts to have a foursome. He had a foursome. Yeah, Romeo. And I just like loved it. And he was saying how married women are crazier than like single women because married women are just like expecting, like it was just like the expectation on strippers, what they noticed from their stripping days. You need to go listen to this if this shit is interesting to you. It was really juicy. I really enjoyed it.
I even told Neil, I'm like, you need to listen to this podcast. It's like
oh my God.
So interesting. I told him the Ryan story of his virginity, and Neil's like,
and then you have Jeff listening to financial podcasts.
I can only imagine what Jeff listens to for podcasts.
Yeah. So it just shows, like what you listen to, what you read, the content that you bring into your life is it really creates what you think of. What like Jeff, we're like, how did he know all these things? He wasn't born with these like not this knowledge. He literally listens to Today on the Journal. Like, oh my God. And it's like he knows everything about what's happening in Russia and Ukraine. And like he knows everything that's happening with blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, how do you know all this? He listens to shit that like reporters and like that's what he's interested in. That's the content that they puts into his brain. And we know what strippers feels like. That's the content we have in our brains.
I have like a good mix. Like I do nothing as heavy as Jeff, but like I like to listen to like stories and people that tell their like life stories and how they became successful and things they overcome. I like that model. And I also like really light. Like sometimes I do not want to think.
Yeah, don't think. I never want to think. If ever I have a question, I just ask Jeff. You know what I mean? If ever I'm curious about things that I see or that I hear about on Facebook, I'm like, tell me about this situation that's happening here and why it's happening.
Why would this happen, sir?
Yeah. Why is Russia being annoying right now? What do they want? And he's just like, oh, it goes back to 1997. But yeah, he's so knowledgeable when it comes to that shit. Okay, it's been 28 minutes.
We rocked it.
Yeah, exactly. Alicia was scared. She's like, do you need notes? I'm like, we don't need notes. So I guess we wanted to celebrate. We wanted to
plan a party.
Celebrate do a party. We wanted to say thank you for the premiere. We wanted to say how amazing the Catnap podcast was. And you know what? The next podcast, Leash, that you haven't listened to, basically they're talking about how Catnap behave when they're high. So when they smoke pot, and it's just so funny. And they go through each and every one of them and how they all have like a task. Like they're like, Noah's high, but he's still like very much protective of like the show. And like, he's still very much like, okay, guys, we have to be serious here and whatever. It's just so funny. And I was thinking about how I've never smoked pot in my life. And how is this something that we feel like Jose needs to do before she dies?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh my God, absolutely. There's some things we need to make sure that you like only have a little bit.
Yeah.
But basically you just laugh your head off. Like you would love it. Also, you get the munchies. If you wanted to do this, I would make you that chocolate cake. And come to your house.
Okay. That's how I would get the high or whatever. I don't want to smoke anything.
Oh, no, I'm not putting it in the cake. That's what you eat after you're high. If you don't want to smoke anything, you can take a gummy.
Oh, let's do a gummy. That's easy for me.
But you know what's the thing about a gummy is like basically like I know, okay. It's like when you're a drinker. If you drink beer, you know like how to regulate yourself, how much beer to drink. It's like a thing. right? But then all of a sudden, if you start doing tequila and you've never done tequila, you're like, whoa. So I obviously smoked pot from a very young age, up until I don't smoke pot very often now, like ever.
Okay.
But I'm like more comfortable with joints.
Okay. Because you're like this professional.
Because I just like that's how I like gummies like weren't really a thing when I was smoking pot. So I like know how to regulate myself with a joint.
Okay. Anyways, one day, everyone.
This
is what I do when I turn 40.
One of the last times that Neil and I smoked a joint together. It was like the tiniest bit, but like hit me really hard because I hadn't smoked pot in forever. And I was so dry, and I couldn't swallow. I needed water, but I couldn't tell Neil because I couldn't stop laughing.
And we all know that laughing is my favorite. I think laughing is a universal emotion that everyone enjoys. That's why I wanted people to laugh at the documentary. If you remember that you laughed, it gives you a really good feeling. I love laughing. One of my favorite things to do.
We're adding this to the bucket list.
Bucket list when I turn 40.
Sure.
Smokes a joint.
Yeah. Has Jeff ever smoked a joint?
Nope. He said we talked about it once. And he's like, yeah, I think before we die, we would have to live that experience of like what it is.
Yep.
Like, okay, I'm okay with that.
Oh my gosh, you would laugh and laugh and laugh.
Good talk. It's a great way to finish this podcast.
Okay, everyone.
All right. Well, just celebrating life over here. Thank you so much for being a part of it. All right. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.